This podcast is produced by Sunnydale Studios.
I begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we record this podcast today and pay my respects to their elders past and present. By popular demand.
Oh my God, the fans wanted me.
Bianca Dye breastfed my child.
Thirsty much? Fuck the meditation. Did you lick a pussy or not?
Bianca!
I know. When have I ever been wholesome though?
That is so unladylike. Happy Monday, everyone. We had a recording break last week. We were supposed to have the fabulous Jules Robinson on, but due to the public holiday, we've had to postpone. To be honest, I think we all needed it. Producer Kat was in Bali. Jules had just come back from London. And guys, I have to go to Surfers Paradise, okay? So clearly I'm going to need to recover from that 30-minute drive. A bit of jet lag from that. So we needed the break. The Worthiness event is this weekend, or it would have just been by the time this episode comes out. And I have been a mess of hormonal night sweats and anxiety armpit sweats, which I've got going on right now. But Botox under the armpits costs too much money, and I feel like we need to sweat out of there. It's too close to your tits.
I agree.
My period arrived this morning, just in time for the event, as happens every year. So my skin has turned it on as predicted. We've got a lovely anxiety and hormone-induced flare-up of my perioral dermatitis. Fabulous.
You're so
hot.
beautiful though.
So hot, sweaty, lumpy.
Sweaty.
Great.
I hear
Good
you.
times. Bleeding.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, oh, yay.
Yeah, but it's weird because I don't know why I'm even telling you this, but yeah. So I had my period and then it went for a couple of days, disappeared, and then decided while I was talking to somebody to come
gush
back,
out.
literally gush out. And I was like talking to this guy out at like a panel van thing about getting my combi fixed, and I could feel it. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Have you got a toilet here?
Yeah.
It was the most. I'm like, where did you come from?
And being a guy, he's probably like, she just shit herself.
Did she just shit her pants? I know. Anyway.
So as you can hear, on today's episode, we have back, by popular demand.
Oh my God, the
fans
wanted me.
Shh, guys, settle down, please. There's a queue outside waiting for your autograph. It's Bianca Dye.
Hello.
Our episode with you made national press, global actually. It went global. It hit the UK.
I know, that is hilarious. It is so funny.
It upset a few people too.
Yeah, no. It definitely pissed a few people off.
Which
I got
is great.
a few
We love
text
doing
messages
that.
from exes and stuff. And I'm like, oh, you should be so lucky I talk about you turd burger.
And
fuck off.
Can we mention that she didn't mention any names whatsoever?
Never, no names.
The fact that you're assuming that red flags are about you is a red flag.
That's a massive red flag because I didn't, there was nothing
no names
to
whatsoever.
allude to anybody. I would never do that.
No,
but
you made sure.
Anyway.
It remains our most downloaded episode ever of the potty.
That's because of all the anal sex talk.
It was.
Pretty sure.
So
and the finger up the bum.
Yes.
That's still controversial. Yeah. Just the pinky.
Well, we did a poll on
Just
that
the tip.
after. Do you agree with Bianca or do you agree with Ness? And it was a real mix of people like, no, I'm with Bianca, I love anal. And then other people like, nope, I'm with Ness, not the poo.
I don't necessarily love the anal. It's more,
Is it tickle?
it's the pinky. And it's funny because I know a few guys in my life now, not that I'm dating, but mates, and they just openly, I love how openly some of them are like, yeah, I don't mind a little cheeky pinky.
See, I can't.
But some guys love it, but they won't admit it because they think, that must mean I'm gay or something. And it's like,
you know what? People
do we really talk like that anymore?
Yeah, homophobia.
Yeah.
Like the most homophobic people are usually those who are struggling most with their sexuality, which is why they're so homophobic.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Yeah.
Isn't that true? I think of all the people I know that are massive homophobes and I'm like,
100% love a dick. 100%. Yeah. So look, if you missed part 1 where we talked more like this, jump back into season 1, episode 6.
Yep.
And have a listen. It was wild. Like the media ate it up. They were just like, wholesome breakfast radio host has threesome.
When have I ever been wholesome though? That was the thing. I'm like, I know. Pretty sure. I know. And it was funny because like I shared it on my Instagram obviously. And like my mum was like, oh, Bianca, why
your
are you?
mum? But your mum's wild as well.
Well, she is wild, but because my Instagram automatically shares to Facebook as well. So then her friends were seeing my stories and going, why is Bianca talking about having threesomes? I'm like, you're from the 70s.
Yeah,
you guys shelved ecstasy up your anuses. What do you mean? What am I doing? You had threesomes, orgies. She had sex with bloody Leif Garrett on the bonnet of a Porsche in Malibu.
And guys,
Morning,
they
Mum.
weren't using protection then
God, no.
either. Like that
Oh my
was
God.
the big like AIDS epidemic.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that was a mistake. They weren't using protection for me when I was born, when I was conceived.
Oh my God, look, 2 of my 3 are mistakes. Love you, kids.
Love you. Love you. It's fine.
It's
Would have
fine.
used a condom if we'd had one, but you're here now, so
You hear it doesn't
we
matter.
love you. We love you.
Pulling out doesn't work for the record.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So Bianca is going to share one of her many unladylike moments because last time,
I can't even remember. What am I sharing? Okay, I'll just think of something.
just think you've got that many and
Yeah.
you're going to fill us in on your trip to Bali.
Yes.
Did you discover that you liked women? Did you sleep with a woman? Did you sleep with anyone? Was there more threesomes? Let's ask. Let's start first.
Do you want to get in there? All right.
No, we're going to do the so unladylike moment first. Oh my God, it's so unladylike. Last time you were on, you talked about how you're just so unladylike in general that you couldn't pinpoint any one unladylike moment because from birth it's been that way for you. So I implored you this time to come on, just one. Give us one. I know many. So I was even giving you examples. I was like, what about this, Bianca? What about that? What about when you did this? It's
No,
a
there's
tough
heaps.
one,
No, there's heaps. It's not like I can't think of any unladylike moments. It's just
because I remember a time when you were late back on air because you were having a poo.
yeah, I was having a poo. Yep. I had a moment in a toilet recently where I had done such a oh God, if someone I'm like about to date is listening to this podcast.
Oh my God, God
gross.
forbid they know that
She's
you're human and you poo.
I know I poo. I did such a massive, because I've been constipated because I've been having painkillers for my endometriosis. And so that really blocks me up. And so finally my body literally gave birth to the biggest shit I've ever seen.
Did it feel amazing?
It was amazing. I felt like I'd lost 4 kilos.
Yes.
But the thing was, where I was didn't have a toilet brush, which I didn't. So I had to like wrap my hand in toilet paper because there was the most hideous skitties. Like I'm talking black, like someone
Constipated poo.
Oh
skitties,
my
it's
God.
Black.
And I'm like wrapping my thing with toilet paper and like just wiping it off the bowl because I knew that they'd know that I was the last person to use a toilet, which is disgusting. But then you told me a story about someone who did a big shit that wouldn't flush. And did she take it out and wrap it up and put it in her handbag? Was that you?
No.
Not you, but did you tell me that? Was that last time I was here?
No, I know. No, someone had put the I have heard a story of someone who their shit wouldn't flush.
Yes.
So they scooped it out and put it in the kitty litter tray
Oh.
in the thing. And then
That's genius.
and then the partner was like, the guy that she was fucking was like, did you shit in the kitty litter? And she was like, no, it must have been the cat. And he goes, the cat's been dead for
The cat died. Oh my God. Is
she
that
thought
real?
she'd rolled
Is
it.
that real?
Yeah, I've heard it somewhere.
That's
That is
like
not my story.
No, I've heard. So I've heard another, not wives' tale, but one of those kind of urban myths they call them. I think and I would totally do this if I was dating a guy. I'm paranoid of all that sort of stuff. If a guy's coming over, I clean the toilet and I toothpaste marks off the mirror because I know if I go to a guy's house, I judge. They don't have to have the perfect house. It doesn't have to be perfectly clean. I'm not anal like that. But if it's gross, if there's like toothpaste all over the mirror and there's shit stains, I'm like, okay, you know what? No, I can't.
I'm done.
I'm
Yeah,
done. I'm
I
out.
get it.
So I know if I have to be like that too. So I've run around and done that sort of crazy stuff. But I can imagine being the person if I'd done a massive turd and I was at a guy's house. Depends where I was. If I was in a public place, I'd be like, oh, well, that's someone else's problem now. I'm leaving. I wouldn't scoop it out.
It's you every time I go into the Pac Fair toilet. There's always someone that's just done a shit every time I go in there.
Oh, God, it's so bad. But if I was at a guy's house and the shit didn't flush, I would 100% scoop it out and put it, like, wrap it in a plastic bag and take it with me. Eat it. I don't know about eating
like
it.
an animal. Eat it.
But yeah, so my whole life is unladylike
No, I
moments.
like that. I like that one a lot.
It's pretty gross. It's poo talk, but anyway.
Yeah, but poo talks.
Poo talk's normal. We poo.
I remember being there was a whole bunch of people over at the place that I was staying at. There's only one toilet. I needed to poo. I just needed, and I was like, I have to. I can't hold it in. I have to go. And there was no toilet spray, and I was so embarrassed. There was fly spray.
Oh, I would have 100% used the fly spray.
And I was like,
100%.
sorry about the fly spray smell, guys. There was a spider.
Oh, it was crawling out of my ass, attached to a huge shit.
There was a spider, and they're like, it was. I sprayed that much fly spray. It was like misty.
Oh wow, yeah, but I would
so
too.
bad. It probably explains like a lot of the brain cells that are missing. I
would do that too, though. That's
drugged myself.
It's funny, isn't it? It's such a natural, normal thing, but yet we have been conditioned to.
Oh look, it smells. I think because my brother had not an argument, but a discussion with me once about people who oppose breastfeeding in public and how we don't condone people shitting in public. And I said, my brother, you're talking about excreting bodily waste as opposed to feeding a child.
Yeah, that's
like, can we not compare
no, don't
the
compare
two.
that. Don't compare that.
Also,
I don't
breast
wanna
milk
watch...
doesn't smell and it won't give you gastro.
Oh, and also babies are beautiful, and watching a
so
mother breastfeed.
boobs.
I
So
actually
is breast milk.
a weirdo sometimes. Like I walk past and I'm like, that is so beautiful. I love it. And I'm like, they must be like, can you not?
No, as a breastfeeding mum, like I breastfed Kalani till she was 7. We love it.
Till she was 7.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I know.
That's
You can
like
say that out loud. I know.
I
like the shock.
but and I'm not a mother, so I would never. I'm not judging, but I'm like, that's like a
I've
fully
been
grown
judged,
human.
Yeah,
but
I've been
that's a
judged.
fully grown human sucking on your tit. How does it? Did she want that?
I didn't force her, mate. Come here.
Come here. Come here.
No, so what it was I really wanted to get to 12 months. 2 years was my goal. Like I really wanted to get to 2 years. I was lucky enough I could breastfeed. We got to 2 years. I was like, great, natural term. That was my goal, natural term. Natural term just happened to be 7.
Holy
and so
crap,
for
you
people,
were still producing milk.
Oh, 100%.
I'm so fascinated by this.
I started leaking colostrum from this breast after, I think it has to do with the baby at the gym. Because I was like, you are so cute.
You're picking up on that.
And my body was like, let's breastfeed that child.
Let's breastfeed that. Oh, my God.
Because I would breastfeed a stranger, like a stranger's child, if they needed me to.
Well, that makes sense to me, because I think back in the cavemen days, that's what would happen. If the woman was out bloody hunting a panther and the baby was back at the
grandmas
thing.
used to keep their milk, right, for the village. So what the confusion is like, oh, so what, you'd go to school and feed her? No, she'd wake up, have a little suckle.
Yep.
She'd go to sleep with the boob.
Yep.
I was still producing milk. She has never been on antibiotics. She would never get sick. It was the most amazing thing because, your nipples take in the saliva of the child or the baby and your milk adjusts accordingly.
Wow.
So it creates antibodies. That's why it's called liquid gold. It's the most amazing natural thing that
I didn't know that. I'm learning.
So I'm very lucky that I was able to provide that for her. But a child's immune system doesn't become fully developed until they're 7 or 8. So that is what, if you...
I didn't know that. I thought it was like 3
If
or
we
4.
lived in, if we didn't live in Western culture, in other cultures, that children breastfeed to 7 or 8, like that's normal.
Is it really?
The global average is 4, global.
Yes.
Average is 4, which is still crazy to some people.
4 just... The only reason it seems
because
crazy...
you associate it with babies, but it's not. But breastfeeding's not just for babies.
Yeah, see, I do. That's what I've been taught, right?
Because that's all you see as well. Because, if you're out for the day with your 7-year-old, you're not stopping and feeding them.
Yeah.
You're just not. They're eating food.
Yep.
So
when would Kalani want it? Like just at night?
At night time in the morning.
That's it.
Yep. Or if she was sick, she'd start asking for it and I'd be like, what's going on? But we also had boundaries. I would set boundaries and be like, I'm completely touched out today.
Yep.
No, Mum's busy right now.
Yeah.
Because when she was like 3, she used to pull my top down in the trolley and I'd be like, not now.
Not now.
I'm trying to shop.
Jesus.
But anyway, we've gone a bit off topic there. Okay. But there you go.
That's fascinating. I've learnt something today.
So look, but that's going to, there's a headline for you. Woman breastfeeds child till she's 7. I know I'm not Bianca Dye. No. Bianca Dye breastfed my child.
Yes, I breastfed. Yeah. Well, I feel like I could at the moment. But
the Daily Mail tends to confuse things. Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if that did become a headline.
Can you imagine? Bianca Dye breastfeeds Vanessa Haldane's child till she's 7. It's a secret. It's out now.
No,
you
because
now know.
You're famous, I'm not, so I would always just be a friend. You know how they report
the friend,
the
the
Bianca
source.
Dye and friend.
So I am not famous, just for the record. Just occasionally,
I think the fuss you created from the episode begs to differ. But look, I think a lot of people, the feedback that you and I both got was really, really positive. But
yes, amazing.
There was a lot of people that just could not handle 240-somethings talking about this stuff. And I think a lot of that is internalized for some women, that I wish I could talk about this stuff and I don't. So I'm pissed off that you can.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
And that it's being accepted.
I think so. I get that too. I think I'm lucky that I was always in an environment where I just spoke my mind. Both my parents did. It wasn't always great. Like, I don't think my dad liked me speaking my mind, but he was I saw him speak his mind. Monkey see, monkey do. So
and he raised you.
He raised me mainly. So Mum did too, but it was mainly Dad in the early years because he was
custody. Your primary carer, wasn't he?
He was my primary carer, and my grandma. I was kind of spread out, but for a dad to get custody of a young girl back in the 70s, was pretty unusual.
Very unusual.
I just burped. That was very unladylike.
A quiet burp for you.
So yeah. Sorry, what were we saying? I went off topic.
Speaking our mind as 40-somethings.
Oh yeah. And I do think some women don't like it because it makes them feel uncomfortable. And I know that there are women in my, I don't want to say life necessarily, but women that I know that are in my sort of circle for whatever reason, definitely watch me with a bit of a side eye and a bit. I don't think they dislike me. I don't get that vibe. And this is from quite a few different women in different areas of my life. There's a bit of side eye, like, who do you think you are? And a bit of you do this for attention or what? And it's like, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a performer.
Yeah, I
work
attention.
in showbiz. You know what I mean? Like, and I have always wanted to be on stage. I'm a frustrated musical performer, so I am a show off.
And also, what's wrong with wanting attention? Like, why is that a negative thing?
But it's also not even wanting attention. Like, people will say to me, "Oh, you put up so much stuff on Instagram. There's so many stories. You must spend all day on it." And I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be this is what I don't get to explain to people. I always wanted to be an editor of a magazine, like Cleo or Dolly growing up. I loved the idea of being in charge and going, okay, we're going to talk about relationships, and we're going to talk about makeup, we're going to talk about this. If you look at my Instagram stories, I cover everything from whales underwater because that soothes my monkey mind and my anxiety. I'll share grabs from your podcast where you're talking about bloody anal sex because I love that. That's a part of my life.
Then you send funny animals. Like, it's just such
stories or I'll share passionate women stuff, or then I'll share like there's a news story out of New York.
Literally, your stories are literally you. They're literally what your mind looks like.
What my mind looks like. Yeah. I don't curate it I guess I do, but without thinking it. I'm naturally, I want to say I'm naturally gifted in the sense that, not gifted, that's not the right word. I naturally am drawn to good content and I love sharing it. Yeah. And that's a good thing. And I've only got like 20,000 followers. It's not like I've got 180,000 followers and I have to worry about. I just put up what makes me feel good, and I literally can do it within 5 seconds. Like, I can literally be walking.
And then put it down again.
I put it down. I'm walking to the car from work, upstairs. I'm walking down to my car and I share something. That's in 5 seconds. I don't sit there going, if I share a whale story at 2:15, I should get about 50 likes.
Will the dolphins be online?
Yeah. But will I get more likes for that? I don't actually give a fuck.
See, I think this is a 40+ thing.
I think people think.
I think it's when you're online in your you don't have the care factor's less the older you get, and I think in our 50s we'll hit a new level of care factor reducing because we're getting closer and closer to the end of our time, right? So we just
I'm almost dead.
We are dead. We are basically decaying and dying.
Might as well just buy the coffin now. Just order it now. Leopard print inside, thanks. And a dildo in case I come back alive.
And she's bored. I want snacks. Food.
I want snacks. No, I just don't give a fuck, really. I don't care what people think. And I think that for some people there is a sense of not jealousy. I want to say that it's not jealousy. It's that side eye of, because I know I'd had it. I know when I was younger, I would look at women who just didn't give a fuck, and I'd be a little bit jealous and a bit envious and a bit kind of judgy of them. And I'm like, I know, I'm not proud of that. I've got, people that I've worked with in the past, or I've been a total asshole because I was threatened by them, or I was like, how dare you? Who do you fucking think you are? And then I'm like, who? Now I'm friends with most of them now. I'm like, I'm so sorry I was a shithead to you. Like, as a young person, sometimes we judge, we feel threatened. I work in showbiz. It's a dog eat dog industry where any female comes anywhere near me and I'm like, you want my job?
Yes.
Fuck you. Yeah. Because they did want my job, and that's actually fine. They're allowed to want my job. But it was just
but there's not many
now
places
where I'm like, fuck it. If you know what? Now the universe will decide. If you want my job and you're going to get it, then you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I can't do anything about it.
And again, that's age and experience, because I'm very much the same as you. I can 100% put my hand up and say I was a toxic female. Like, I was one of those girls that was like, I can't believe she's wearing that. Like, in my head, I might not say it out loud. I would never wear that. What I was really thinking was, I wish I could wear that.
Yeah. But I wish I had the balls to wear that.
Yeah.
And that's really brave
if I saw someone beautiful, I would look for any flaw. I wanted to find something and I'd find it and I'd be like, her pinky toe nail polish is chipped. Yeah. Like, and it made me feel better about myself. Like, and to finally get to a stage where you can look within and go, fuck, I was a cunt. Because I thought I was a cunt. Like, I hated myself.
That's what it is. Yeah. I look back now at some of my behaviour and I think, I was only thinking about it the other day actually, because one person, her and I, didn't get along at all. We were very competitive with each other and we've both kind of owned it and admitted it.
Yeah.
We're mates now, much to everyone's surprise. And I'm really looking forward to catching up with her when she comes to the Gold Coast. And I just look back at some of the things that I said about her to other people, or put things up on Facebook that were like, little passive-aggressive digs at, like, her passive-aggressive dig at me, which was my passive-aggressive dig at her, and then she put up something.
It was like you were literally fighting, but not directly.
Yeah, not directly. She put up photos that she knew would piss me off, and I put up, and I'm like, and then I thought, fuck, we both were so similar. Yes. If we'd both just admitted it, we would have ended up being really good friends. Like now we realise we're so similar, we chat, and I look back and I'm totally ashamed of some of the things that I did, but I also know I was coming from hurt people.
Yep.
I was in a toxic relationship. My own fault. He wasn't a bad guy. We just should not have been together.
You can have toxic relationships where there's no abuse going on, right? Where it's just
absolutely
unhealthy.
He and I were so not right for each other, but we loved each other and we kept trying.
Yeah.
7 years. Like I look back now and I think, for fuck's sake, why didn't we just look at each other and go, this isn't working. We obviously love each other, but we're not meant to be a couple.
Because you've been sold marriage and romance.
Yes. And we were trying to have babies together. I had a miscarriage with him. Like we had some pretty intense history and I felt very to him, even though I knew. And because he and I were so rocky, and I'd go home and I just didn't know from week to week whether we broke up, I think in the 7 years, 4 times. So it was and big breakups, like big, the whole town knew. I was a local brekkie radio star. Everyone knew. Like if I farted, the town knew. He worked in the same industry. And so
that's anxiety-inducing stuff.
And I felt so bad for him because he was copying it from his mates, like, just bloody break up with her, mate. And my friends are going, clearly you two shouldn't be together. But we kept trying. And so because I was in a place of feeling shithouse about who I was, and when you're in an unstable relationship, that will leak out onto all sorts of shit in your life.
Of course it does.
Of course it does.
It breeds like cancer. It's terrible.
It was. Yeah. And so I look around me now and I go, God, you were a shithead to her because of that. You hardly saw your family because of that. I want to go back now and hold that Bianca and hug her and go, can you just break up with him? Like that. It's not that I regret. I don't want to say I regret because then it's like, God, that was 7 years of my life.
You can't regret anything, can you? And I think we are sold romance, especially as women. We are sold marriage. We are sold, that our worth is based on getting married and having children. And so we continue to work at relationships because we're told that's what you have to do.
Make it leave.
But sometimes you don't have to waste your energy and time. You can say goodbye.
I also had difficult situations where, and I love my family, and I won't go into detail who, but they meant well. But there were a couple of family members who, every time we'd break up, they would say to me, what did you do? What did you do? It must have been you.
Because, of course, because you're the woman.
Toxic one. Yeah. You must have. You're the alpha female. You must have done something.
And he's lovely.
Yeah, he's such a great guy. Did you fuck it up? How did you fuck that up? And that is probably one of the most damaging things you can say to someone.
Yeah.
What did you do? What did you do? It's like, it takes two to tango. He kept coming back to me too. I kept going back to him. So I just think, hurt people. And I think that's the beautiful part about the whole podcast world now is that I love that I can share. Hey, if you're feeling shithouse or toxic, I wish I'd gone and seen it. Actually, we did go and see a therapist. We did go and see a relationship therapist. I don't know what advice I can give, because if someone had whispered to me from the future, break up with him for fuck's sake, you're wasting 7 years, I probably still would have stayed with him.
Yeah, you would 100%
I
would have.
I know we're going to make it work. We had great sex last night. I'm sure we're going to make it work. It's fine.
But this is the thing about sharing, right? Because after that first episode, I came on your Brekkie show and we had an interview about your episode, and we talked about the things that you talked about. So we were on CFM Brekkie show, Bianca, Dan and Lakey.
Yep.
And Ben's reaction was interesting.
That's right. Well, yeah, you couldn't get Ben and I, you couldn't get two people with bigger difference in beliefs.
Well, he was saying, should I listen to it? And I said, no. I said, no, Ben, I don't think you should, because you've got to look her in the eye every day. And I said, and God forbid I meet you again one day and I've got to look you in the eye as well. I'd rather not. So if you could just not listen to it. I think he has.
Do you know what? I think he might have.
Oh, 100%.
I reckon he might have.
Did he come in one morning and not look you in the eye? He's listened.
Yeah, I think. But then again, we talk about stuff off air.
I bet you would. It's not like you have a filter.
I don't. So if I've come back, if I've had a hot Tinder date or something's happened, and I share most stuff, and I'm very aware of his religious beliefs and how, and I think we're pretty respectful. I'm like, well, I'm just doing me, and I'm not going to filter me because that's not your beliefs. Because to a certain degree, there's respect, because there's some things that he believes in that I don't. I believe in that he doesn't, and we have had a couple of times when we're like, ooh, so we've got a safe word. We're like pineapple, because
it's not worth it.
Well, abortion. I'm not going to go there, but I'm just saying we have very different views. So. And that's fine, because there's a religious aspect to that.
I'm going to assume, with the fact that he has 8 children, that he doesn't believe in abortion. Yeah. And that's okay.
And that is, I respect that. You absolutely.
But this is the thing with abortion, though, right? It comes down to choice. If you don't believe in it and you and your partner don't want to have an abortion, that's great. But do you still wish it was available for those who do? It's got to be available for the people that do. You do you with your pregnancy and your body, and let everyone else do that.
And also,
it is touchy. It is very personal.
You can't put a blanket on it, okay? If there's a 9-year-old girl and 12-year-old girl, whoever, she's got a period.
She was 10. There was a 10-year-old girl who was pregnant in America.
Raped by someone, I'm pretty sure.
100% she was raped. But she was pregnant and they were going to force her to have the baby.
You can't do that. Because that's, okay, so you're choosing one life, the baby's, over hers because it's going to fucking ruin her life.
Yeah, and women matter. We are not just vessels.
No.
Like,
and so yeah, and I mean, it's such a touchy thing, but you know, you just have to have respect. You just have to go, you know what? Let's agree to disagree and respect that, because I know there are plenty of people that are pro, for life, whatever, but I just think you can't put a blanket on everything.
You can't. And there's individual circumstances, and there's some people who might have fallen pregnant. They may be in a position to have a baby, but they just don't fucking want to, and they don't have to.
No. But what if they're going to, but also what if they're going to die? Like, there are women that like, can, you know, that
you said, there's no blanket. Like, there's so many different variables and nuances.
Whose life's more important, mums or the babies?
But one of the things that Ben said I liked, one of the questions he asked me was, does this mean that everybody has to talk like this? Like, can anything not remain private anymore? And I'm really glad he said that, because I was like, no, of course people can remain private, and this is why we talk about the things that we do. So for people who, for whatever reason, religious reasons, their personality or shame or whatever, don't talk about these things or don't have the friends that they can talk to these things about,
that's okay.
We're talking, they can listen and nod along and at least feel seen and heard and know that what they're seeing, feeling, experiencing is normal.
Exactly, babe. And they don't have to feel the need. I agree, because I know I got smashed with messages too from women saying, thank you for both of you speaking about things that I would be uncomfortable speaking about. You're not brave just because you don't speak about this. Like, I mean, you and I are unique people. We're very out there and open and gregarious and vivacious, and we talk about everything, and, you know, and there's downsides to that too. So don't think life's all great. Like, I have shocking anxiety. I was going to say,
don't we text each other at like 3 a.m.? I'm up with anxiety. Are you? Yes.
Like today I'm a fucking mess. I've got heart palpitations.
Oh, honey.
I don't even know why. I just have really bad anxiety today, but I just own it now. I'm like, oh, well, you'll live. You'll get through. You'll sleep tonight. You'll wake up tomorrow morning. You'll be alive. You're going to be okay.
You've got a fast-paced life, though. Like you were just saying today on the way to the podcast, busy. I'm going to be late now. Coolio just died. I know. So that's just like instantly, right, Bianca, we need you to do this. Like, it's a lot for you.
It's a lot. I think I thrive on that, though. Like, when my to-do list, and I have to own this now, because my to-do list gives me anxiety. But then once my to-do list dwindles and I've nearly done everything, I start to think, what am I going to do now? It's like my body is so perpetually used to being in a state of fucking chaos, which is not good, that I don't know what the fuck to do with myself when things aren't busy and chaotic. So I'm trying now, God, and I'm nearly 50. How long is it going to take me to try and find that balance between, so I'm trying to meditate. I'm going off the grog as of Monday, because alcohol is absolutely poison for me.
Yep.
It brings out the worst in me, and I put on weight and I feel like shit. It's going to be hard because I drink for my anxiety 100% to numb myself. 100%, almost a bottle of wine every night, because I go home and I go, I'm single. I don't have a partner. I don't have a baby. I love most of my life, but you can get in a real rut of feeling like shit.
But see, these are also things that could be celebrated if we change the narrative, right?
I know. I'm single, as in you're right.
No children.
I'm free. I have freedom. I can get up. I can get in my combi and piss off for the weekend and do whatever I want.
Yeah. It's how we frame it, isn't it? And of course, if these are things that you wanted, though.
Yes and no. Like a girlfriend at work said today, don't have a hysterectomy yet. It's not too late. And I'm like, I am 49.
Do I want to raise a freaking child in my 50s?
Do I want to now? Like, there's a part of me that if someone said I could make you pregnant tomorrow, would I do it? Okay, if I don't have to spend $100,000 on IVF and you can literally make me pregnant tomorrow, and I know that I'm going to have support, you know, I'm going to sign a contract, you know, is the radio station going to keep me employed for the next few years, so I know I can bring it up and feed it, and can I afford a nanny? Not a nanny, but someone to come.
I'll breastfeed it.
Can you?
Oh, of course.
I'll
lactate
just
right
do
now.
Let
me just think about it, baby.
I'll handball the baby to you. Because
I'll be your nanny.
Brekkie radio, like I have to be there at 5:30 in the morning. So, but yeah, I just so went off on a tangent, didn't I? Because I was talking about alcohol, and I'm giving up alcohol and
you
anxiety.
were talking about the reason that you come home and drink, and that one of those reasons is I'm single, and we were talking about changing that mindset. Yeah, you know,
the narrative of that,
and the narrative of it being a negative, but then also don't want to diminish and invalidate feelings that, you know, if you did want to have children and you don't have them, it is sometimes sad to come home and not have what you thought you would have.
I know, but I don't know. I never really thought I'm going to have this happy family, because I never had a great family template, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or fortunately, I don't know. I've always been a bit of a gypsy. And then I have women who message me and go, you've had the most amazing life. You've travelled around the country. You've been number one. Brekkie, you've won awards. You've done all this amazing stuff. You've interviewed Madonna. You've whatever the fuck, all the wanky bullshit. I'm just saying, I've had a life that, you know, some women would look at and go, so there's a great quote up on my wall, actually, in my bathroom, which is a really good one, that says, what do you have in your life now that other people look at and would kill to have? Something like that. That's not verbatim. And I thought, You've got a great media gig, which you love, doing breakfast radio. You look in the mirror and you're happy most of the time. Not all the time. My weight fluctuates like a motherfucker. So I'm just, sometimes.
That's being in the 40s too. Like that's just a perimenopause
oh my
thing.
God, my belly at
is
the
it
moment.
Belly? Perimenopause.
It fucking is, isn't it?
Yeah,
God, I don't know how to deal with a belly. I've always had big boobs and a big bum and a small waist. So I've always been able to dress to that.
Yeah.
But now the belly too, I'm like, okay, I don't know. How do I dress for that? Like I'm trying to kind of.
Well, do you know the Butterfly Foundation talk about the fact that there's a rise of body dissatisfaction and negative body image from women in their 40s because it's when your body changes. So puberty, and then menopause because our bodies change again, or pregnancy.
It's funny, you see photos of
never
yourself.
ending.
I know, and I see photos of myself and I go, wow, I've got a middle-aged woman's body. But I'm not unhappy. I mean, I still feel sexy. I still feel good most days. I still feel confident. And I don't want to be that person that's like feels good or bad because of their weight.
It's not, your worth is beyond.
My worth is beyond that. I don't want that. But the hard part is being single is that I feel that I have to look a certain way on the apps, Tinder and whatever, because I'm like, I don't necessarily want to swipe right on a guy that's quite overweight. Now, before you judge, the reason I say that, if I met a guy out at the pub and he was a bigger guy, chubby, whatever, and had a great personality and we had sexual chemistry, I'm there.
Yeah.
I couldn't give a shit. But when you're that's the problem with the apps. When you're just swiping,
it's solely based off appearance.
And I'm like, oh, he's got 3 chins, so he clearly eats lots of shit and he doesn't work out and he's got a big belly and I don't find that sexy. But I have dated guys that are morbidly obese. I've actually dated 2 guys that you would look at and go, oh, you're really quite big. I adored them. I love them. I couldn't have given a shit what they look like, their weight, whatever. They were sexy.
And also, what they look like doesn't show what they eat or their health at all, right? No,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, but you're
on Tinder, we're shallow. It's horrible. I know all my photos. If you see me in real life, like my photos on Tinder, I look way better because I don't want you to think I'm going to have 5 chins either. So it's a shallow, fucked up world.
How is the dating going? Are we on a break? Are we still doing it?
I wish I wasn't on a break. So I met a guy whenever. That was interesting. We caught up. He was, okay.
Wow, we glossed over that one.
Yeah, okay. So, no, it was interesting because we literally just started chatting that day and then next minute he's catching the G-Rail to my place. And I was like, how did that happen? I was like, okay, I guess you're coming over. And I shat myself. And it's so funny because I'm so not nervous in so many scenarios. I don't get nervous coming and doing a podcast with you. I can get up on stage. I'm like you. I don't have nerves in that sort of environment. I get on the radio and talk to 150,000 people every morning, like whatever, or every week, morning. And I don't get nervous in so many scenarios. And yet the idea of a stranger coming over and knocking on my door, and I'm like, I shit myself. I literally have like shots of tequila to go. Anyway, he came over. It was fun, but there was just too much. We had some fun. He was hot, but there's just when you're dating in this age group, it's a lot of baggage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the same. I come with baggage. I come with miscarriages and IVF, and I'm on the radio and look, I'm texting a guy at the moment. It'll be interesting actually watching this back, whether I'm still messaging him when this podcast comes out. But
you text me and you'll be like, by the way,
nah. Or we're getting engaged. Because I move fast.
You're invited to the wedding.
Yeah, please.
Can I be a flower girl?
Please.
Thanks.
It's so awkward because I never say what I do. I just put media. And I'm not being a wanker. I know Benny and the guys.
No.
I think I discussed this last time, but I'm like, no, they either know straight away, which I love. Just be honest with me. Just say, oh, Bianca, you look like that girl on the radio. Just say it.
But your name, like even your name.
Well, I don't have my name on all of them.
Okay.
So my name, I fucked up. I think, so I'm on Bumble, Hinge and Tinder. And I can't remember. Thirsty much?
I don't know these apps.
It's exhausting.
Yeah,
it's
it would
fucking
be.
exhausting. I'm having so many conversations with so many men sometimes. I'm like, what have I told you? Not lies, but where are we up to? Are you the guy with 3 kids? Do you live in Mudgeerba? Oh, fuck, is that the guy from
Have you ever fucked it up? Have you ever been how's the kids?
Yes,
kids, bitch?
What kids? No, I fucked up about where a guy lives. I said, oh, so if you're all the way in Coolangatta, and he went, no, wrong guy. And I was like, oh, sorry.
Damn.
But the thing is, I shouldn't be ashamed. I'm obviously chatting to a few different people because the thing is, you can have great banter with a guy for a few days and then all of a sudden he opens the cupboard and out flies something and you go, okay, that's a massive red flag. You're still living at home with your mother and you don't have a car. but I'm out or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you might not know that until
You are a giant man-child.
Yes, I'm out. I mean, no offense, but I'm a 49-year-old financially secure woman and I want to date my equal in that sense. I'm not going to keep
100%.
you. So no offense, but I was like, you're lovely and the chat's been great, but I'm out.
Yeah.
So you are chatting with lots of people at once because you can think I've been sucked in so many times thinking a guy, oh my God, this guy's great. And then all of a sudden my ex-wife's a fucking mole. I'm like, okay,
red
I'm
flag.
out. I'm out.
Don't talk negatively.
All your exes are psychos, are they? Oh, I don't know about that common theme. You are I've now learned if a guy shit cans his ex, for starters, it's very uncool to badmouth a woman to a woman anyway. Even if his ex is a mole, that's fine.
You don't need to know.
I don't
What's
want
got
to
to do
know.
with you?
If she's a mole, when we start dating properly, I'll meet her and I'll find out for myself.
The worst thing is when it's a mother of their children and they do nothing but talk crap about
That's
her. It's
horrible.
like, that's the mother of your children.
That's the mother of your children. Don't.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have had your differences, but just I really respect men that say, look, we don't get along at all. But like this guy that I've been chatting to, he said, look, we're very different people, but she's a great mother.
Amazing.
And I'm like, okay, I respect you. Please, yeah, because I was thinking, please don't shit can your ex. Please don't shit can your ex because that's a massive red flag.
They've got no accountability then. But you know what I think you should do? I heard about this. I can't remember whether I saw it on TikTok or I heard it, but this girl was talking to, same thing, lots of different apps.
Yeah.
So she'd met, I think it was like 7 guys.
Yeah.
And instead of going on all these separate dates, she invited them each individually to a party.
Oh my God, I've heard this.
That she'd been invited to.
Yes.
But it wasn't real. Like she'd created this gathering with some of her friends and for these guys to come along so she could judge them all, talk to them all individually and they didn't know about each other.
Neither knew about each other.
Do it. That'd be so funny.
I've got 3 on the go at the moment.
Yeah,
Bianca,
3.
Can you imagine? Excuse me, I'm just running to the other room.
Yeah.
And like changing.
Do the
I'm just running.
changing.
I'm just going. She's disappeared for the entree. Yeah, okay. She's gone into the other room.
Well, they were all apparently these guys, it was 7 of them, they were all talking to each other, getting to know each other, and it came out eventually.
Of course it would have come out. It would have had to have come out.
What a great idea.
It isn't a bad
I love
idea.
that. But look, Bali.
Oh, yes.
Now look.
Yes.
Okay, so Bali originally you were like, I'm going to fuck a backpacker, you know, someone who just doesn't know who I
what
am.
A lady.
And yeah, me and the rest of the Someone Ladylike listeners were really pushing for you to fuck a woman.
Yes.
Like that was our thing. Like
yes.
and come home a
Yes.
lesbian. Please come home a lesbian.
Come home a lesbian.
And then
Bianca lick a lot of puss,
and then I
yep.
started getting messages from you. You were going to some new moon thing. You were going,
Yes.
you know, you were doing all this meditation stuff. I'm like,
Yes.
this is great, but I'm bored, Bianca.
I
and
know.
Then,
Fuck the meditation. Did you lick a pussy or not?
Yes.
Ah.
And then you sent me a message, Ness. It's happened. I've been hit up. I just wanted to read a book. What's going on? And it was a threesome or an orgy or something that you'd been invited to.
Yes, yeah, no, yeah. Because I was like,
and you were like, I just want to read a book by the pool.
Yeah, okay. So I won't go into detail. I won't actually. I'll be a bit vague. I won't
Be
just
vague.
in case. But, so there's a place over there in Bali that's owned by some Aussies, and I got chatting to them on a totally different subject because someone connected us through another way, right? So we connected here, and then as we were chatting on Instagram, they were like, "Oh, we have another business. It's called XXXXX, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should pop in." And then I Googled it, and oh my God. So you can go there and have experiences, lesbian experiences, gay, hetero, whatever.
Bianca, did you go?
I didn't,
Bianca,
I
did you
didn't
go? Bianca!
I know. I couldn't.
For the people!
I know. Do you know why? The thought of some random woman fingering me after a massage, I was just like,
Guys, I mean, to me, that
I
sounds
can't
hot.
do it. I can't. I panicked. I just because
You couldn't take one for the team?
I couldn't, and also I just thought I'd rather go out to a bar. I was
pick
more
someone
likely to go out to a bar and there's a hot girl there and she's flirting with me and I'm flirting with her and I'm like, oh, okay. Oh God, she's gay. I could be a bit, okay, this could happen. Okay. And then I'd have to
have that attraction.
I'd have to drink.
Yeah.
I know I'm not proud of that, but I'd have to have some sort
There's
of
a common
substance.
theme here.
I'd have to drink. I just would be too nervous. If a girl hit on me and she was super pretty, I'd be like, okay, this is hot, but I
don't know what to do.
don't know what the fuck to do.
I feel like that around women that I find attractive as well.
I'd be like,
I get really nervous and embarrassed. And
what do I do?
yeah, what do I do? I don't know what to do with you.
And then I bought a book, which this book is about a woman who breaks up with her boyfriend and then realizes she breaks up with her boyfriend because he has sex with this really, funnily enough, chick with hot hair, with pink hair.
Bianca's got pink hair right now.
I've got pink hair right now. Has sex with a chick with pink hair. And lets the chick with the pink hair go home in his girlfriend's T-shirt. Funnily enough, they just happen to be at a cafe randomly and this chick goes, oh my God, that's my T-shirt. Why do you have my T-shirt on? oh, there's some guy I fucked last night, gave it to me. Oh, that's my boyfriend. So, but then she ends up having the hots for the chick with the pink hair. She's like, oh my God, you're hot. And then they end up, I'm flicking through the book, they end up having this hot lesbian affair.
That's
and
amazing.
And I'm reading this book and I'm like, why do you want to buy this book? I'm buying this book.
I want
I'm buying this book.
To be my reality, says Bianca.
But it's interesting because I did have an opportunity to go and literally have a woman do that to me. But I think I was worried because it's literally paying for their services, which is fine. That's all good. But I thought, what if I'm not, I have to be attracted to you. Like, what if I don't get to pick? Like, just some girl would come in and massage me.
It's interesting,
and I'm like,
isn't
what if
it?
I'm not attracted to the girl? I'm going to be like, I don't want you doing that to me. I'm not going to be turned on. Do you know what I mean?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think, like, that's where, you know,
men and women are different. No, because the guys are different. They all go in, they
care.
I know
it's not about attraction or, I mean, and again, not all men, but when men go and seek out the services of a woman, yes, they can pick and choose sometimes.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time where they can't, like, it's just for a release.
It's for a release. I know
but
someone.
some women can't just do there was a woman who messaged me on Jenny to Wear the Official, and she was struggling to find a male escort. She goes, I just want to be fucked. Like, I just want to be fucked.
But there's heaps
so
out there.
So I put her on to someone and I said, contact her. I wouldn't have a clue.
Oh,
but
I know
she
someone.
might be able to help you, connect you.
Yeah.
So she didn't get a response.
Oh, wow.
I said, well, they're very bad at their
busy?
job.
They're bad at their job or they're busy?
Or I don't know. But she was like, and now I'm too scared to reach out to anybody else. But see what I mean? Like,
get her to reach out to me. I know someone who'll help her out.
On.
I mean, as in, I know because, I know the guys who run Sexpo and my girlfriend Belinda who works in the soft porn industry, and she'd know heaps.
Is she the one that puts crystals up her vagina?
She hasn't. No, I don't think so. Does she? Does she put pictures of her vagina? Well, she's got an OnlyFans.
Not pictures, it's not OnlyFans. Crystals.
Does she put crystals up her vagina?
Yeah. How do I know this about your friend and you don't?
That doesn't surprise
like a
me.
rose quartz.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, have a chat to her about it.
Okay, I will. Oh my God. Hopefully they're not ones she's re-gifted me for Christmas. Yeah. Thank you. This amethyst smells a little bit musky. What's going on? Thank you so much.
Popping back to OnlyFans there, after all the media kerfuffle around this episode, not this episode, the last episode, you shared a try-on haul in Honey Burdette on your stories.
Oh, that's right.
And that got picked up by the media as like, whoa, nearly 50-year-old woman feels sexy in lingerie. Like, oh my God. Yeah, you know what? We're going to still feel sexy at 60 or 70 and 80.
Exactly. I hope so.
You know, and it was probably a male reporter. But anyway, the inbox went crazy again for you.
Yeah.
And it opens up that discussion of, Bianca, do you have an OnlyFans? Have you considered it since?
Can I tell you the amount, and I'm not kidding, because as someone that feels that there's times when I've missed out on some really big gigs in this industry and people have gone on to make amazing money, and I really don't feel that they are as talented as me, some of them, and I get very resentful, and I know that's fucked, but I'm like, fuck, how did
have done that better than you?
Not nasty, not taking away from anyone doing anything, but there are certain things where I think, fuck, sliding doors moment, that could have been me and I'd be a fucking millionaire right now. And so there are times when I think my sexuality and my sexual side is a strong side of me. Could I make money out of that? I honestly have. And I know girls that are making not much, but like a couple of grand US a month just from making OnlyFans.
It's a bit of nice extra pocket money.
Hello, a couple of grand is a mortgage, right? Like, and I think, fuck, I've definitely got enough followers where I could definitely get a following, and I'm comfortable enough with my body and I know how to be sexy and I reckon I could do it. But
you're worried about the backlash, aren't you?
Well, I'm worried about the backlash because I've got a job where I work in commercial radio. I mean, I would literally have to go to my boss and get permission because I'm a public figure. I do a public job. I just don't think, like, I know there's your Abby Chatfields and stuff, and she's great because she has paved the way, which is kind of insane. But
she was like that before they put her on board.
She was like that before she put her on board, but also she doesn't do sexual stuff. She does sexy stuff, but as far as I know, she doesn't have sex or have an OnlyFans account or anything like that.
But she definitely talks about it.
She talks
very
about
graphically about
very graphic. Some of the stuff she says, even I blush, and I'm like, holy shit, and I love it. I'm like, go you.
Yeah, it's so good for this generation.
Finally, a platform where we can talk, because she's not doing it she's not being nasty. She's talking about vaginas and the things that we all normally talk about.
No, and the thing is, whatever. I think if this generation has Abby Chatfield, and that's why, again, I was so grateful for how open you were on the episode, because who is there for our generation? We've always been told that we can't talk about this stuff. And even Clementine Ford, which I think so many younger feminists just repeat back so much of what they've clearly learned off someone like Clementine Ford with no reference to her, which I hate. Like there's women that have come before us that we have to acknowledge.
Of course.
But
I love
people
her.
like Clementine Ford as well, like just all that. And she never cared.
Yep.
She never cared. She called someone a cunt on during an interview. But of course she didn't work again for a while. You know what I mean?
See
like,
what I
she just
mean?
got-
And that's
yeah.
so she,
And that wouldn't happen now.
it wouldn't happen now.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't happen now.
Which is great. So we've got Abby Chatfield for now, for the up and comers, for the younger generation. But it's just great to have people like you saying, we talk about this stuff too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like I speak my mind as much as I can, considering, you know, it's different. Like people like Emma Rossiano and stuff who are off doing their own thing now. I envy her in some ways too, because she really can do whatever the fuck she wants, and she can say whatever she wants. She can talk about her ADHD, which I love, because I definitely feel like I'm self-diagnosed, but
Do not self-diagnose. Do not self-diagnose,
I know, but I
because
really feel like I'm fucking on the spectrum big time. I mean, I've got anxiety, I'm OCD, I know I hate all the labels, but
we were just talking about
but
this.
also Mia Friedman, she's 49 and she's just come out and talking about it too.
Well, we've had the discussion. This is not something that I've talked about because I feel like it's a bit of a trend right now, ADHD.
I know, and everyone's got ADHD. I know.
I haven't spoken about it, but I've spoken to you about it, about the fact that I'm going through the diagnostic process because I feel like I can't get into February.
Fucking insane.
But you and I have a lot of similarities, and you were saying, let me know how it goes. But people are self-diagnosing, and I guess we've got to stop doing that because it diminishes the people who have a diagnosis, and it's debilitating to their life. And I think I'm seeing a lot of it online. Here's like ADHD. And so I'm messaging them going, when were you diagnosed? Oh, I haven't been.
Yeah.
Then stop saying that you've got ADHD because you don't know. You possibly do. You've got the red flags. I had to go to my GP.
Many red flags.
She had to
I did a test, just so you know, I did do a test with a doctor for the radio, but they were a real doctor.
Yep.
And they came back and said, look, I can't give you a clinical diagnosis, as in I can't because of my medical, I'm not allowed to do that because this is a radio stunt.
And it's also a process.
It's a process, but everything that I filled out, they said you scream ADHD. Yes, if that helps you, but you do. I will, if I want to actually be able to call myself officially ADHD, then I would have to go and do the proper process. But
I think we need to look at how does it affect our life, right? So for me, the reason I want a diagnosis or be told that it's not this could be something else.
Yeah,
I've been on anti-anxiety medication for 2 decades.
Yep.
Okay, so I don't. It's been great for my panic attacks, but the general chaos in my mind has not calmed down. And this has been since childhood, which is something to note as well. ADHD doesn't develop. So if you're an adult and you're feeling these things now, but you can't relate to feeling them as a child, it's not ADHD. It could be a number of other things. The symptoms can be very similar. But if this goes back to childhood, then that's the first indicator. It has to have been. It can't be something new.
No. Of course not. You've either always had it. I look back at my childhood and I don't. It's hard because I don't feel like I had anxiety as a kid. But I was all over the shop. Like when I talk to my friends, they're like, "Oh my God, you were always the loud one at school, and you were intense, and you were always interrupting." But I duxed my school. Like I was super smart. You know what I mean? But I also got expelled for drawing a vagina on my.
Of course you did.
Thing. And
I love you so much.
Yeah, I drew a vagina and I got expelled for 2 days, and then my dad talked me back into the school. But I feel like there's a lot of my behaviour that was ADHD type, but maybe I was just hyper. And maybe what I just have now is just anxiety. You know what I mean? It might not be ADHD. But maybe it's not.
And that's the thing. And I guess for you, a diagnosis
I've been diagnosed with anxiety, with a generalised anxiety disorder, 100%.
But like a diagnosis of ADHD would mean perhaps a different type of treatment, a different type of medication if you were open to that. And I think that's people getting a diagnosis just so they can say I've got ADHD is just because it's a trend is damaging to those who it's debilitating. And that's why I literally haven't spoken about it because I don't know if I will. Even if I get a diagnosis, I don't know if I will because I don't think another white woman saying that she's got ADHD is going to necessarily help anybody. If it does, it might, great. But
it might. I mean, for me, reading Mia Friedman had it. I mean, we're both the exact same age. I certainly haven't had anything like her success in media, but you know, we've both sort of grown up, 2 Jewish girls in Sydney. Well, I was in Sydney for a long time. Well, she was editor of Clio and doing all her stuff. We've sort of had not parallel lives. I mean, I don't want to say that. We're very different. But what I mean is same age, work in the media, you know, write, TV, radio, whatever sort of thing. And so her coming out with her diagnosis, I actually just printed it off today because she wrote a big article in Mamma Mia. I printed it off in my bag. I'm going to read it when I get home because I just want to read some of the stuff that she does because she's got all because when I read Emma Rossiano's stuff, I went, Yeah, I do a lot of that. But again,
Yeah.
self-diagnosis. It might not be
and
ADHD. I might just be fucking hyper.
Or busy.
Or
'Cause a lot of
busy, or
people
stressed
are busy
out.
and stressed out, or something could have happened in your life that's making you feel these things. Again, but you can probably trace it back to childhood. But one of the things that I liked about Mia talking about hers when I looked over it is that she actually said, this has been...
Sorry. Oh, that felt so good. How good is a sneeze?
She actually said, this has been really hard. This is really, really hard, and my life has been hard. And I appreciated that because it's not just cute. I forget things. It's not like that.
No, fuck no. It's so much more than that.
It affects the life in so many ways. But anyway, it's not an ADHD episode.
No, it's not.
What we really want to know
if
is,
we both
are
get
you going
diagnosed
to?
Am I going to have a lesbian affair? I don't know.
Are you going to do OnlyFans? Maybe you can have lesbians affair.
Both. I don't think I can do OnlyFans. I just don't think my boss would let me. And it's not that they have that power over me. I guess if I wanted to do something privately, but it would... I just feel that I'm a commercial breakfast radio announcer. I have a lot of kids listening to the show. We have a lot of kids listening to the show. And I just don't know if it's on brand. And because I do work for a commercial company, they do kind of own you a bit. You know what I mean? Like I have to get permission for them if I'm going to do certain stuff.
There's contracts with many things, isn't there, to act in a certain manner that protects the brand.
You just do. If I'm part of that brand, I would have to check. Hey, I could check with them and they could go, what you do in your spare time. But because I've got a public profile, what I do in my spare time, it would make, of course it's going to make national headlines if I do an OnlyFans.
It's absolutely going to.
But would it just make it once and then no one would care? I feel like saying, oh, well, yeah, I've got OnlyFans, so who cares?
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like, would they care? Would anyone care?
I don't know. I reckon you should just broach the conversation. Just have the conversation with
them.
them.
But then I'm nervous because...
But you don't have to do it.
No, but I'm nervous about like people that I know...
they don't have to subscribe.
Yeah, you're right. They don't have to subscribe.
They don't have to subscribe. And children definitely won't be subscribing.
Well, they're not subscribing. I know. Would I do it?
And if they are, well...
A girlfriend sent me, I'm not going to say who it is, but a girlfriend, because you're not meant to do this, obviously, but she screen recorded.
That's illegal.
I know it's illegal. So she screen recorded someone's OnlyFans and you'll all know who she is, so I won't tell you. Yeah. And it's hot. Yeah. Like she is hot. And I'm like, I would so subscribe to that. I probably should. I probably should actually. But I've watched the video back a few times. I'm like, I don't know.
It makes you blush, doesn't it?
I could do that. I'm like, that's so hot. But you are seriously putting a dildo right in your vagina and I can see everything.
You don't have to do that though.
No, it's not always like that, right? Like you can just do, some people just do photos.
Well, I had a friend who had guys in her inbox all the time and she was like, you know what? I need to pay my phone bill, so I'm going to...
So what did she do?
So she DM'd all the guys that had messaged her and sent them a link.
Yeah.
And she made $400 in a day, paid her bill and turned it off. And it was not...
What did she do in the video?
Just some bum shots. Nothing full on.
Nothing?
No.
See,
no, nothing too full on. This is the benefit of OnlyFans is that it's 100% you're in control. You only put out the content that you want to, and people are subscribing for that. People will request things of you, and you absolutely say no.
Can I reject a subscriber? Like, what if my old high school teacher wanted to subscribe, and I was like, I don't want him seeing my vagina. Can you reject?
I'm going to find out for you.
I wonder if you can, because if I had that power,
surely you'd be able to remove subscribers.
I do get a lot of messages from men who are like, oh, you look hot today. Oh, your boobs. Oh, you saw your tits on Sunrise. Oh,
you're
fucking great. Well, I had like cleavage out and they're like, oh,
saw your tits on Sunrise.
Oh, that camel toe and that bloody active wear. Oh, you've got
What is it with you and camel toe and active wear? You like it because when you
I really don't mean it. I don't mean it.
Not yours. But when you see other women...
I love it. No, I love it. No, listen.
You share it and you zoom in.
If you are even slightly... you have to follow Yoga's Alert. The camel toe, it is so sexual, but it's not porn. It's literally just girls doing yoga poses, but like I can understand now. I get it. Why guys, if they're in a yoga class, would get a boner because there are girls do it and you're like, la 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 la. Like
God, I'm doing yoga wrong. I am sweating and grunting.
No, me too. But I just mean in these particular poses, I can understand how a fully clothed woman, what I mean is I find that more sexy than necessarily seeing some girl spread her flaps. Like I'm like,
spread your flaps. Yeah. That might be your kind of content then, because there's a lot of there's so much explore it. I was going to say, look,
I'm actually tempted. Knowing how much money these women make, it's like fuck off. I deserve to be making that kind of coin too.
I deserve this.
I fucking deserve this.
I deserve it.
I'm going to flash my tits and make some coin.
Yes.
There you go.
And you're so good. You've got great tits.
They're all right.
They're
for
fabulous.
49, they're going
They're
okay.
fabulous.
They're definitely going south, but it's it's a slow process.
See, if you'd had children, they would already be south.
You're right.
So,
So glad.
another tick in the box of not having children.
Yay!
But look, we need you on every season. It's just
Yes, please. I
feel like between now and season 3, you're going to do so much. You could be like an OnlyFans success story.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? God knows what you've done.
Should I have
your
the chat? Because I've got contract chats coming up. I should just say to my boss,
chat just
if
so
I
you
had
know.
an OnlyFans account,
How would this affect me?
and I'm also wondering, I feel like we should record it. I feel like it'd be a really fun conversation just to chat with my boss and go, and just record it. And then if it's
considering how much breakfast radio used to be very boring and very mum friendly,
Very vanilla.
to even have been as the host of this podcast and with what you discussed on this podcast, to even have been invited on to discuss that episode is such growth.
I know, I think
Such
so too.
growth.
Oh
It was
no,
great.
Look, I had to push a little bit to get you on because they can veer on the side of being a little bit too cautious. But then I'm like, but we're just teasing the podcast and we're talking about 2 women who are in their power,
important
owning their
things to talk
shit.
about.
This is important. It's important that our listeners hear this and go, okay, I want to listen to this podcast because I need to know that it's okay to feel like shit or have anxiety or be bi-curious or whatever.
Have threesomes.
Have threesomes, yeah. Absolutely.
But look, I just want to thank you again for being so open, so candid.
you.
I love and value you
Thank
so
you.
much. And I know our listeners do too. And
That's
I know
so
all you're
Madonna.
beautiful.
Like,
She's
only
praying.
big celebrities do that,
She's
right?
been to
Thank
Bali.
you so much.
She's like,
Namaste.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really
Can
am
you wear
tempted.
sunnies next time?
I'm tempted to go back to that place in Bali.
Do it before season 3.
But
You
I've
have
got to, yeah, okay, but if I go back there. But also, I feel like this is really rude, but I want to go, can I choose the lady? That's the
Ask.
thing. I feel like back, 'cause
Again.
I'm like, I need to be attracted to her. If she's going to be doing things to me sexually, I need to be
I'm
attracted.
not actually doing things to be attracted.
Yeah.
Have because I have a particular woman that I'm attracted to. When I'm attracted to a woman, I
Yeah.
have a particular type that
Yeah,
I'm
I
attracted
think
to, and you'd
we-
be the same.
But we kind of do. I mean,
Same with men. I've got a particular type of man.
I feel like, but then again, I thought I had a particular type of man, but I've had sexual chemistry with men that I'm like,
See,
I don't know if I physically find you that attractive, but we've got some fucking chemistry.
Yeah,
Is that
okay.
weird?
You don't
Not
get
all
that
the
on the
time.
apps, yeah.
I don't get that on the apps,
Yeah.
and that's why I always feel bad. But I always get the banter. If they've got sexy
Banter's
banter,
great. Or even just funny banter. Got to have a sense
funny
of humour.
banter.
Yeah,
If a guy can make me laugh,
yeah,
that's massive because it's usually me making them laugh.
that's true.
They always say back, "You're hilarious," and I'm like, "I fucking wish you
well,
were."
will you be funny for once?
Yeah, how about you be funny?
I am tired from being
have
funny.
a very attractive penis and be very funny, and buy the first
And have me-
4 dates of food, and you've got me.
And have me wailing like a donkey.
Yes. Oh my God.
God.
Oh, someone listened to the podcast and said that or something, and then he said, "Yeah," and then we had sex, and he went, "Yeah,
You do.
yeah,
It's a little
sort
bit
of.
like a
It's
donkey.
a bit donkeyish." And I was like, "Well, that's a testament to you.
Well,
You
yeah.
got me there."
Well done. If you want to hear more of Bianca Dye, you can listen to her episode in season 1 of So Unladylike, or tune in every morning to 90.9 CFM between 6 and 9 a.m.
We're technically on from 5:35.
Oh, yeah?
Well, no, it's a pre-recorded hour. It's the listener hour. Sorry if you're listening and
Oh.
I've broken your heart. We're not really in there live. So we have a best of because the competition, like we have to.
Do you start live at 6?
Yeah, we start live at 6.
That's the stuff you want, guys.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. But the pre-record, the pre-record is from the best bits from the day before are replayed between 5 and 6.
Ah.
Clever.
Who's up?
I know. No, do you know what?
You
The
are.
roads, no, but when I'm driving around, like I only live, I'm in Broadbeach, stations in Broadbeach, so I literally drive 3 streets to work. I'm very lucky.
Could
but,
walk.
Well, yeah, definitely could walk. But why the fuck would I? No, I
Do you
don't.
like tradies?
Yeah.
You
yeah,
could pick
tradies
up
are-
on the way. That's all who's out and
Yeah,
about.
you're right.
Yeah.
Tradies at that time.
Just
But
keep your window
the
down.
roads are busy though. Is it all people at the gym? Who the fuck is up at 5 o'clock?
Tradies.
And old people who can't sleep.
And
because
old
they've pissed the
people
bed.
like
Yeah.
us. I'm not pissing the bed. I'm sweating through the bed. It's
I'm
ridiculous.
sweating through- I'm squirting. No,
Oh,
no, we've had
sweating.
that chat.
Oh my God. Did you listen to the episode after you came on? It was with Rob and Katie.
No.
And they talk about, go
Oh,
back
can
and
I
listen
play-
to episode 1.
Because I feel like there was one that I needed to go back and listen to. Well, there's all of them I need to go back and listen to. But yeah,
they
what
do
did they say?
sex parties and you'll love it. Episode 1 of season 2.
Okay.
And they talk about squirting. His whole porn channel is dedicated to teaching guys how to make girls squirt. So
Are you serious?
yeah, you'll love it.
Okay.
You'll love it.
will be down.
I'll link you. I'll message you.
Can you please send me the link?
Yeah.
Copy and paste.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, B.
Thank you.
All right. It is time for Ness's Burn Book. The glue stick and the scissors are out. Who's going in the bin? This week's entry was sent in by a Journey to Worthy Army member, an avid So Unladylike listener. This week, a former Big Brother contestant, come influencer, was filmed by her bestie declaring the following.
I like to make my money by approving in a product and loving a product organically and sharing it with my audience rather than f***ing myself with a f***ing dildo and making money off and ending marriages. You know how many girls would go through their boyfriend's phone and see that they're secretly subscribed to girls' OnlyFans, and that's the end of a fucking marriage right there.
The voice you hear is none other than Skye Wheatley. This internalized misogyny that the woman is always to blame for ending marriages really needs to be called out. The first time I saw this video, I have to admit, I honestly thought that Skye was directing it at someone in particular. It sounds like she's almost relaying an argument with someone else, obviously an OnlyFans creator, to her bestie Michael Finch, and it's been filmed and shared. They are no longer talking. They have unfollowed each other on Instagram, and the cynic in me wonders if it was a bit of a PR stunt. Like, why were you filming in the car while having this conversation? Either way, look, supporting and empowering women doesn't mean we don't call out bullshit behaviour by one of our own. Skye's statement that girls are looking through their boyfriend's phone, seeing that they follow OnlyFans, ending marriages, needs to be unpacked. Firstly, no partner should be going through another partner's phone. That is digital spying crap, and everyone is entitled to their privacy. If you can't trust someone due to a fault of their own, it might be time to leave the relationship. If you can't trust someone from your own internalized issues, it might be time to leave the relationship. Breaching privacy isn't okay. Second of all, it's not the OnlyFans creator's fault if a marriage ends. That's laughable. Reminds me of when a husband cheats and, we hate the woman that he cheated with, but we stay with the man. Our issue should never be with the content creator. In addition to this, being an influencer and using your body, your skin, and your children to promote clothing, skincare, and products does not hold you to any higher moral standard than an OnlyFans creator. No one is better or holds more value than another based on their job. It's legal, it's consensual, and it's not hurting anyone. Skye, I do feel for you having this conversation shared if it wasn't a PR stunt. Part of me still thinks that it was. You must feel betrayed by your BFF. But for this and your previous statements that there's no reason for women to not leave an abusive relationship and that you don't feel sorry for DV victims who stay but have the means to leave, you're in the book. You're going in the bin. All right. This time next week, I'll be post-event. So until then, keep listening, keep sending in your messages to the team at So Unladylike Pod on Instagram or to me directly at Journey to Worthy Official, also on Instagram. Until then, bye bitches. If you loved this episode, please be sure to subscribe, follow, and rate us 5 stars. Join us on Instagram at So Unladylike Pod and Journey to Worthy Official, and keep sending in your questions, confessions, and opinions. You guys are so unladylike, and we are here for it. See you next week, bitches.